This past week, the OPP announced that they were going to do a blitz on commercial vehicles, paying special attention to distracted driving among truck drivers in this industry. In the last 10 or 15 years, there's been a mass exodus of professional drivers leaving this industry, and the reason they're leaving is the pay. It's pretty tough to make any money anymore when you're getting paid by the mile, when you're stuck in traffic or stuck in behind one of Ontario's many scales, or lined up at customs, or it's a road closure, or it's stuck behind a snowplow. It's always something in Southern Ontario, and you just can't make any miles. And it's left a giant void in the trucking industry here in Southern Ontario. And that void is being filled by unskilled new drivers. While they may need the job, they're not particularly good at it. And because the pay is so low, there's no incentive for them to get good at it either. And that's been a huge problem here lately. Now, the insurance industry has certainly noted that our caliber of drivers has slid. The OPP certainly obviously have noticed that the caliber of our truck drivers has slid. It's unsettling to look at the numbers here. 20 years ago, the at-fault rate of commercial drivers in an accident situation was 8%. That means that in all the accidents involving trucks, 92% of the time, the four-wheelers were at fault. By 2011, statistics had determined that that percentage had jumped to 33% of the truck drivers being at fault in accidents involving four-wheelers. This year, the year's not even over yet, but it appears to be that that number is going to be above 60% of the truck drivers at fault in accidents in our industry. And that's devastating. Those are devastating numbers when you look at how much they've jumped in the last 20 years. It's the pay. The good guys are leaving, and all we're left with are the unskilled new guys. And you know, we've said it, everybody knows it. When you pay peanuts, you get monkeys. And that's just the way it is anymore. So there is no surprise as to why this is happening. It's been a gradual thing over the past 10 years, but now it's just slapping us in the face. And drivers are afraid to go out on the roads anymore, and myself included, because the caliber of the new guys is so low. It's bad enough having to deal with the four-wheelers. Most of those guys can't drive at all. But even when half the truck drivers are no good at it anymore, man, that's a scary situation. I keep my family off the road as much as possible these days. The province, now recognizing this problem, has passed a law mandating that all new truck drivers in Ontario, as of July 2017, must obtain their Class A licenses through registered driving schools in Ontario. But these schools cost a lot of money, thousands and thousands of dollars. And for what? To obtain a license to get a job that pays less than minimum wage? So the cream of the crop guys, the bright guys out there, are looking at this scenario, and it doesn't take them very long to do the math. Why would you pay thousands to earn very little money? And they're running for other fields of employment. That only leaves the monkeys applying for the truck driving jobs. And like I said earlier, you pay peanuts, you get monkeys, and that's where we are. Now let me be clear here. I'm not saying that all the truck drivers out there are bad. That's not the case. There are still a lot of old pros left out there on the road, but there's a huge influx of unskilled drivers out there, and those are the guys I'm talking about. Now don't label all new drivers as bad drivers, because that's not the case either. Some of these guys just have a feel for the equipment, whether they're just getting behind the wheel or whether they've been around for a while. So it's not all new drivers. I'm not saying that. I'm saying there's a large pool of unskilled drivers that just aren't going to get any better because they just don't care, because they don't have to care, because they're not going to make their living at this, because there's not enough money to do it anymore. The wages for the new drivers in Ontario are going to make a difference, and they don't look like they're going to increase anytime soon. No huge pay influx is on the horizon. There's not going to be a change in our near future as far as the caliber of truck drivers here. So before you head out on the roads, think about who you're going to be on the roads with these days. The professional drivers, I don't need to tell you this. It's bad enough when the four-wheelers can't drive, but when you can't trust the trucks, we've got a problem. So keep your wits about you, be careful out there, and I'll see you on the backhaul.